Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, your home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Skyharbour Resources, including a recent press release that just dropped today. Before we get into it, take a second, smash the like button guys, big help to myself and the channel, specifically in getting this content to other people like you who may find value. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join and let us know in the comment section below if you're currently holding shares of Skyharbour Resources and what you think of today's press release. With that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be profiling Skyharbour Resources Ltd. Before we get into it, we did want to thank today's video sponsor, Outside of the Box Capital, for sponsoring today's podcast on behalf of Skyharbour Resources. Now you can see they trade here in Canada under the ticker SYH on the TSX Venture, also trade on the OTC in the United States under the ticker SYHBF. Now they were down about 1.5% on the day to close out at 32 cents Canadian, and this is really on the back of a big announcement or press release that came out this morning, which is going to be the feature of today's presentation. Now before we get into the news, and because this is the first time covering Skyharbour on the channel, I wanted to jump over to the corporate website, skyharbourlimited.com. I'll leave this linked in the video description below as well. A preeminent uranium explorer and prospect generator in Canada's prolific Athabasca Basin. So as you can see, focused on uranium, we'll talk about that theme throughout today's presentation, along with the tickers mentioned prior, up top of the screen. Now if we scroll down to the About Us section, you can see Skyharbour Resources holds an extensive portfolio of uranium projects in Canada's Athabasca Basin, positioning the company to capitalize on strengthening uranium market fundamentals. And this is a theme we've talked about extensively on the channel. The United States is focused on onshoring the production of a lot of these critical minerals and materials like uranium, and is really now focused on Canada as a key contributor to that new sourcing. With 37 projects spanning over 616,000 hectares, Skyharbour's assets range from advanced stage exploration projects, including the high-grade co-flagship Moore Lake and Russell Lake projects, to earlier stage exploration properties. In addition to advancing and drilling its core projects, Skyharbour employs a prospect generator model, bringing in partner companies to explore some of its other properties. Now at the top of the screen, you'll see a projects drop down. Again, a wide array of different projects within the Skyharbour portfolio. If we click on all projects, this now brings up a list including Moore Lake, Russell Lake, Falcon, South Falcon East, and Preston, or East Preston. And that's actually where I wanted to focus, as that's the source of today's press release. So if we scroll down, you can see an interactive map of the Preston project itself, located to the west of Moore or Russell Lake. Now in terms of some of the highlights, this is a large 49,000 hectare land position strategically located to the south of and adjacent to NextGen Energy's, another Toronto Stock Exchange listed company under the ticker NXC, Rook 1 project, host to the high-grade Arrow deposit, as well as proximal to Fission Uranium's Patterson Lake South or PLS project, host to high-grade Triple R deposit. Now the Preston uranium property itself is bisected by the all-weather highway 995, which runs north through the PLS project being advanced by Fission through to the former Clough Lake uranium mine, so great infrastructure already in place. And in March of 2017, Skyharbour signed an option agreement with industry leader and strategic partner Orano to option a majority stake in the Preston project. Now, if you fast forward to 2021, partner Orano fulfilled their earn and option interest in the project through funding exploration expenditures and making cash payments, with Orano now holding 74.7% interest in the JV or joint venture, and is considered the operator, with remaining minority 25.3% interest owned by Skyharbour. Now there's been numerous high priority drill target areas associated with multiple prospective exploration corridors, and through this multi-phased exploration initiative, which has culminated in an extensive proprietary geological database for the project area, the team is very confident in this region. Now the final point I'll mention, given the size of the property, exploration to date has only focused on approximately 50% of the land package, leaving significant exploration upside potential in the untested areas. And keep that last bullet point in mind as we move into today's news. Now, if we continue to scroll down, you can see there's 2026 planned exploration, including an AGG or Airborne Gravity Gradiometry survey over the northern portion of the property. And that's where we're really going to pick up in today's press release. So if we now jump over to news and media, under the recent news dropdown, you can see Skyharbour and JV partner Orano, which we just talked about, announce extensive exploration and drilling plans for 2026 at the Preston Uranium Project. And this is really building on exactly what we talked about on the corporate website. Now, the company is pleased to announce that its JV partner, Orano Canada, is planning a substantial 2026 exploration and drilling program at the 49,635 hectare Preston Uranium Project, which we just looked at on the website, located in the western Athabasca Basin of Saskatchewan, Canada. Now, the upcoming program will include an Airborne Gravity Gradiometry Survey, or AGG, as we just talked about, followed by detailed ground gravity surveys, and these geophysics will be followed by a summer 2026 drill campaign totaling approximately 3,500 meters. So this is a significant step, not only for Skyharbour, but specifically at the Preston Uranium Project. The program is designed to build on encouraging results from the previous few years and advance several high-grade priority target areas across the property, particularly within the FSAN and Canoe Lake grids, where drilling and geophysical surveys have identified compelling structural corridors and extensive alteration zones. And again, here you can see the Preston Orano JV project bordered directly by NextGen and close proximity to fission uranium. Now, as a continuation, the proposed 2026 exploration campaign will include a large-scale AGG survey, which will cover the full priority corridor in the northern portion of the property. The AGG is expected to refine discrete gravity lows, identify structural trends, and help delineate potential hydrothermal and alteration-related footprints across the broader claim area. Following the airborne work, Orano intends to complete detailed ground gravity surveys using tight station spacing of 25 by 25 meters or 50 by 50 meters, with these surveys focusing on key zones within the proposed drilling footprint, and will be used to validate targets from the airborne data, improve resolution over prospective features, and help distinguish basement anomalies from localized overburden variations. Now, as an extension of this, the summer diamond drilling program is also proposed, consisting of 3,000 to 3,500 meters across roughly 10 helicopter-supported drill holes, with each hole averaging about 300 meters in depth. Similar to the successful approach used in 2025, drilling will be divided between direct targeting of high-priority anomalies and broader structural corridor testing along graphitic trends known to be associated with uranium mineralization in the Athabasca Basin. Orano anticipates that 6 to 8 drill holes will focus on follow-up and step-out testing within the northern FSAN area or FSAN area, where multiple graphitic shear zones, brittle ductile structures, and strong clay alterations were intersected back in 2025. An additional 2 to 4 holes are planned for Area B, which represents an underexplored structural trend that remains largely untested but shows strong potential based on existing geophysical data. Now, they then go on to talk about the budget and the existing exploration campaign that was completed in 2025. So I'd encourage you guys to go in and take a closer look, but this represents a major catalyst and step forward for Skyharbour Resources. And if we actually now take a step back from today's news and jump over to the investor presentation, you can see the uranium market and nuclear power demand are really red hot right now, with global demand for electricity growing by approximately 50% by 2040, with data centers and EVs adding to this growth rate. We cover this extensively on our channel. Uranium demand is expected to grow at a 5.3% CAGR, or compound annual growth rate, through to 2040. With new reactors being built, extensions, restarts, and uprates happening to really support this electricity demand. Now, in 2025, the approximate demand for uranium was 190 to 195 million pounds, with primary mines supplying approximately 155 million pounds, giving us a significant supply shortfall, which is estimated to increase to a cumulative supply gap through to 2035 of approximately 355 million pounds. Now, I mentioned in the intro that the United States is really looking to onshore a lot of the supply of these critical materials, with the US currently being the largest consumer of uranium in the world, with nuclear generating around 20% of its electricity through 94 operating reactors. Now, despite that impressive stat, the US itself actually produces less than 4% of the domestic demand, relying on foreign supply, which is currently at risk based on the Russian uranium import ban. So obviously, with uranium prices rebounding, the spot market revival, and these supply curtailments, there's a significant focus on exploration companies like Skyharbour that have the potential to support this growing demand for uranium over the next few decades. Now, the Athabasca Basin itself is known for high-grade uranium, along with gold, silver, copper, and zinc. And we've seen a number of exploration companies in the space actually be acquired for the projects that they have within their portfolio. So this is a potential for any exploration company like Skyharbour Resources. You can see some of their comparables there and some recent uranium company acquisitions, including McArthur Exploration, Fission Uranium, which we just talked about, and 28% of the Millennium Project by Cameco. So with that being said, there's a number of reasons to take a look at Skyharbour Resources. We talked about their Preston project and drill program in today's presentation. They have additional drill programs across Russell and Moore planned in 2026, again building on the success they had this year, with a strong management and technical team in place, really supporting this energy transition towards high-grade uranium and taking advantage of partnerships and joint ventures, as we talked about in today's presentation, to fund exploration with less equity dilution through this prospect generator model. Now, the final slide I'll leave you with is the management team headed by President and CEO Jordan Trimble, who brings extensive experience in the exploration space and has really assembled an all-star cast around him of long-standing industry veterans with existing relationships and knowledge in their respective fields. So for those reasons, you guys, I'd be super curious to hear your thoughts on Skyharbour Resources, and more specifically today's big announcement with their JV partner Orano at the Preston Uranium Project. If you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button, you guys. It's a big help to the channel, specifically in getting this content to other people like you who may find value. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join. And with that being said, let us know if you have any additional comments or questions in the video description below, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.